This time around I will be building a 323 BMW 3 Series from back in the 80s. There are a couple variations of this kit. There's the Alpina versions and there's also the stock versions and probably many more floating around. I decided to go with this one as it was available on eBay to me for a reasonable price, and I'll be going into the box now and then into a bit more detail further on in the video. So some of these older Fujimi kits are not really all that detailed. As you can see, the chassis is pretty bare and there aren't really all that many parts left to add to it. Now I'm pretty sure that there were options back in the day to put some sort of engine or pullback system in these kits to make them actually roll and race in some kind of way. I'm pretty sure that is what this sprue is for, and this part holds some of the batteries maybe and the engine part, and also has some seats. There is another sprue as well which has even more seats. I'm not really sure which one of these two sets I'm going to be using, but I'll be looking into that later on. You also have two options for the mirrors and also some smaller details for the exterior, of course. And then there is the final sprue of parts with a lot of the exterior and also the final interior bits. The door cards are not super detailed, but back in the day there was probably not much more to it. Although the parts look nice, they aren't overdone. Now it does have a bit of flashing on some of the parts, as these molds were probably overused and a bit worn out. Nonetheless, the parts are still fine to be used on the kit, but it just requires a bit more cleanup. With this kit, or at least this version of the kit, you get the Alpina style wheels, a multi-spoke wheel, and a big period correct tire on it. They look really good and into the correct shape. And you also get the option of adding some racing discs onto them. Turbo fans, I'm not really sure what these are called, but I think that's the name. Of course, we'll not be using this, as this is not what the real car I'm replicating will look like. And in order to mount these wheels, you get a rod for the rear and also some smaller parts for the front so that they can still be turnable. And the final sprue is the one with the clear parts. The rear section is one big piece and the front section is a separate window. Also, all of these smaller light bulbs and buckets and other stuff is molded on as well and has some nice molded in detail and all the lines too. There is also a small decal sheet with this one, as it being the Alpina version. You of course get some of the Alpina stripes as well, and some details for the interior and also the emblems on the exterior. The body for this one is molded in a dark blue plastic, has a couple of really big mold lines on it, but not that big of a deal. As I said, the molds were a bit overused probably, and on the older side, so with them being a bit worn out, that's what you get. Some of the panel lines need a bit of refining, specifically around the window trim area where they pretty much disappeared in some cases, but overall the general shape is still there, so it is workable and something can be made out of this to look pretty damn good.